Hello, everybody. Next, our second installment of Pivot. We started with the P. Today, we're going to talk about the I in Pivot. So if you all have been following what I've been going over as far as pivoting and changing in Q4 of this year, we're in 2025, to get ready for 2026, then let's talk about that acronym Pivot and how hopefully some of the things that I'm sharing will be able to help you to figure out a little bit more whether or not it's time for you to take your own pivot. Now, my name is Monique Coles, and I am in the process of pivoting myself. So I figured while I did that, I would share it with everyone else as I'm doing this change. So I'm a wife, I'm a mom, I'm a school counselor. In addition to that, I'm an author. I've written 6 novels, and I love to help people. So here we are talking about pivot, something that I'm very, very passionate about. So without further ado, let's talk about pivot itself. What does pivoting mean? So when we looked at the definition in one of the earlier videos, we looked at it as saying it's something that you are going to begin to run or manage in a completely different way. All right. So in business, sometimes it's where businesses might completely change the way they're doing things. But then in your personal lives and personal development, then you may need to pivot depending on where you are in your life situation. So last session, we talked about the P in pivot. I won't go over that fully. I'm just going to review it really quickly so we can talk about the I. And the P was to pause or to perceive. Now, you want to pause before you pivot. You want to stop. You want to look around, look at yourself. Sometimes assessing the angles, that's something more physical in a pivot. This is the step where you want to really be honest with yourself. All right. You want to ask yourself a few questions like this. Ask yourself, what exactly feels misaligned? Like, are you feeling like something within your life, your career, something's just not right? It's misaligned. Next, is it the job that's misaligned? Is it your environment? Is it the current schedule that you're keeping? Is it your values? You might also want to ask yourself, what drains your energy the most? Keep that in mind. And then also, as you're thinking about all these things, think about what comes naturally to you and what are you currently ignoring. All right, so that was the P. That's a very quick review of that. Now, let's talk about the I in pivot. So the I is to identify your ideal next direction. All right. So after you've pivoted a little bit, you want to look at 3 next possible paths. The first one could be the skill adjacent pivot, using your current skills in a different role or a different industry. You know, we talked about in the first part with the P, finding out what it is that you like and what comes naturally to you. So as an example, a teacher or an educator might want to become an educator of an instructional designer instead of maybe teaching in a traditional way, or a corporate trainer or an advisor, or a speaker. So you can take that passion and that skill that you have and use it in another way. Now, another way that you can look at another possible path that you want to maybe help you identify your next direction would be the passion pivot. Moving towards something you've always wanted to do, but you've never explored. Maybe you've dreamed about it. Maybe you haven't dreamed about it in a while, but that's your passion pivot. What would make you passionate? What would give you the energy that the opposite of what is draining you? And a third way, or another path that you might want to look at, is income and lifestyle, that type of pivot. Choosing a path that supports the life you want. Okay, what is it that you want? Do you want more time freedom? I know that's what I want. Do you want to work remotely, not have to go into a regular job or jobs if you have more than one? Do you want financial mobility? Those are some things that you want to identify in your next direction. Now, that identification does not have to come right away, really quickly. You don't want to take too long, but you want to look at that, start to choose, and really be honest with yourself when it comes to identifying what that pivot might be. Now, next session, we're going to talk about the V. But next, let's also look at a couple of things that we went over the last time. Pivoting could be a mindset shift, okay? And ask yourself some of these directions. Ask yourself some of these questions, Now, if you might need to or want to pivot if you dread going to work. Think about this for yourself. You feel underpaid and undervalued. Is that you? Do you feel stagnant or like you're not growing anymore? Do you recognize yourself in the job that you're in anymore? Personally, I know I don't for the job that I'm currently doing. You feel called to do something bigger. You feel called to do something different. Your life goals have changed. Our goals change sometimes. When we're younger, we don't know as we grow and matriculate that we might want to do something else. What about this? You crave flexibility, freedom, and financial elevation. That could be you. Or you keep imagining yourself doing something else. So if at least 3 of these things resonate with you, this might be your pivot season. And this is the best time to look at it again at the end of the year and Q4. You want to look at that. So I have a pivot mantra for you. And this is something that you can say as you're thinking about pivoting. Say this out loud. I am not stuck. I am turning. My direction is shifting. My purpose is expanding. I pivot with courage. I pivot with clarity. And I pivot into my next level. Now, you may not really fully resonate with that mantra yet because we're still going over some things for this pivoting and giving you some guidance and direction. Think about this. Life sometimes squeezes you into a corner that forces you to change. But you do not have to break. We've got choices, people. You do not have to force yourself into a space that no longer fits you. You can simply pivot with intention, with strategy, and with courage. And that is what I'm here to assist you to do. That is my hope. Now, I'm pivoting currently, and I have learned something new. I'm learning some new things about trading and the trading industry and the trillions of dollars that are there that people who have the skill set of trading know how to do and are able to benefit from that and monetize from that. And so I looked at my pivot. I had to pause. I had to identify. I had to visualize the V that we're going to talk about. I had to also, optimize, over prepare. We'll talk about that a little bit more. And then take action. And this is me taking action. So again, this is the second part. This is the I in pivot. Hopefully this has been helpful for you. Check this out, look back at it again, write the questions down, and it may be your season to pivot. If it is, and this resonates with you, then come back for our next session where we'll talk about the V and more about visualization.